2, 1. So in conclusion, Hey guys, today is a very stressful day because not only is it Sunday and I'm posting another video as promised, but my husband over here is going to be jumping from an aeroplane. He's going to be parachuting. It was a present that he got for his 30th birthday. Okay, so the question that I'm going to answer today is from Luana Santos. And she asks, hey Suzi, I'd like to suggest you make a video about when students don't like me, the teacher. I've been struggling with problems like this one in one of my classes. They really don't like me, and this makes the process of teaching very hard. This is something that I had to go through myself, and I'll share a few tips that helped me get students to like me and to cooperate on my lessons. The first thing that I needed to change is, that's the baby in the back. The first thing I needed to change was I had to scrap my lesson plans and I had to focus on connecting with my students. This meant that lessons were kind of put a little bit on hold, and I spent this time finding out about my students, their interests, what they like doing, what they do in their spare time. We started talking about things like Minecraft and online gaming, and there are these dancing apps where kids can lip sync to songs. What ended up happening is that I was asking these questions mostly in English. I allowed them in the beginning to answer me in their native tongue, just so that they could feel comfortable with me first. And the aim was to spend these lessons in a positive environment. But what I think helped the most is that they saw that I'm interested in them personally, and I'm not just coming to do my job and go home. So this kind of, I think that they were shocked in the beginning, but the results were really, really good, because what ended up happening is that I allowed them to teach me things that I had no idea about. As I was listening, I could then add in little English words, English phrases. Once we got on a better, got on a higher relationship level, I was able to ask them to say what they just said to me and try and say it in English or with my help. And then once they were really comfortable with me, I could then add in my ideas for lessons, and they were much more willing to participate in them. Another thing that I did, this was with older students or with students that, for example, I only had 2 weeks to teach. So, for example, some language camps. In these situations, what I would do is I would write down on the board, divide the board into two sections, do's and don'ts, and I would invite the students to come and write what they think they would like to do on the lessons. And this worked really well as well, because I think the students saw that I am open to suggestions and that their word or their opinions count in the classroom, and this opened up space for us to like each other, if I can say it that way. Another thing that I would do is I would give my students options. So if I wanted to work through something with them, I would suggest 3 different ways that they could do this task. which also made them feel like I'm not forcing them to do something, but that they can choose one of the 3 options. For example, if we were doing a writing exercise, I told them that they can either create a short book in their notebooks, or they could do it in a comic form, or if you have this opportunity or this possibility at your school to type it as a paragraph on their laptop, or even create a short blog or a website where they can write down some of their thoughts or their short stories in English. So they were able to think this through and choose which task they would like to do, or how they would like to do it. And just a PS, my husband actually asked a very valid question. He asked me, why do kids need to like their teachers, or why do teachers need to be liked? And I think it's possible for kids to learn without liking their teacher. I mean, I think that happens everywhere around the world. But if your students like you and you're able to have a good relationship with them, it makes teaching so much easier, because children are then open to cooperating with you. They're much more, but I said that in the beginning though, that they are much more willing to do the tasks that you prepared for them. So that's it for today. I will be answering another question next week. Wish Radek luck for his jump. And Radek, we'll see you on the other side. Bye guys, have a great week. Steady. Steady. Steady.